So a few weeks ago, I published a snail pattern, and a lot of people in the comments said, hey, it looks just like a Renegade, except that the hackle's brown at both ends instead of brown and white. And I thought, well, I might as well tie a Renegade so people can compare, because to me, it's completely different from a Renegade. So here you go. Hang on till the end. We'll show you a technique for wrapping hackle or preparing hackle and wrapping it that'll help you get a little different up and down, straight up and down look to the hackle barbs when you wrap them.
Another fly for your box from Father's Fly Shop.
One of the last patterns I tied, we did a snail pattn, and a lot of people said it looked like a Renegade, so I thought, well, I'll go ahead and tie a Renegade. So a Renegade, I've got the thread started, and I'm going to work it back to the end of the hook shank right above the barb, or where the barb would be if you're tying barbless. And then I'm going to tie in some gold tinsel. The Renegade has a gold tag on it. I'm going to tie in some gold tinsel. This is just a Simperfly flat tinsel in gold. And I think it's 1/32 inch. I'm going to hold it down and just take a wrap over it. And then slide it back and wrap down to where the tag is going to end, and slightly into the bend. And you want to kind of pay attention to keeping the thread wraps pretty even, because if you don't, if they're lumpy, the tinsel is going to be lumpy. And the reason that you put the side you want out down is because then when I pull it back, it folds over itself, and that side is the side that winds up out. We're going to take 2 or 3 wraps. I'm not going to leave all that. We're going to wrap back over it some, but take 2 or 3 wraps with the tinsel and then tie it off. A couple wraps over it. And we gotta snip that off. And wrap it down. And then bring the thread back to where we're going to start tying in the hackle. The Renegade uses a brown hackle and back, and so I've got a brown hackle feather. This is a size 16 hook. And there are a couple of ways to prep these feathers. I'll show you on the front hackle one way to do it. This is the way I normally do it, with just a clip on either side of the stem to kind of leave a little cone for the tie-in. And then I normally just strip a little bit off, so I'll have some bare stem on what's going to be the side of the stem that goes against the hook shank. And so I'm going to grab that, and we're going to take it down and leave about 1/4 inch, or 1/8 inch actually, of tag. And then I'm going to go ahead and wrap back up into the center of the hook shank. And now I'm going to attach my hackle pliers, or tweezer, whatever you want to call these. These, I think, is named a hackle tweezer. By having that little bit of bare shank that hits the hook first, I'm going to be able to get this at right angles. Now some people will strip that whole top side of the feather, because when you do that, it tends to help all the barbs stand straight out, since what you've got against the shank is bare since what you've got against the shank is a bare stem on the feather. This, you can see, you get kind of a bushy effect with the feather, more than you'll get with that. And I'll show you kind of what that looks like. I've got some of the feather I'm going to use on the front. I've got it stripped so that we can illustrate that technique later on, to tie off the hackle with a few wraps. And then I'll slip this tip of my scissors in and clip off. Then I'll pull everything I can back. And clean up any barbs that I left. All right, and so I've got some Peacock Herl here. And I'm just going to even them up by clipping them off. Take a loose wrap and wrap back up to the hackle. And then back to the front. And then I'm going to take some wraps of Peacock Herl to build out the body. And once I get a good body, then I'm going to take the thread over and tie it off. And that's the body. And the front feather, I've already got prepped here, except for the last little cut. And you see, this is the way some people prep both of these feathers. They strip all the barbs off the top. You see, I did that about halfway down just to kind of show you what that looks like when you wrap it. And then I'm going to take the little comb on the other side. We'll tie this in the front. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap back against the Peacock Herl. If you've got any stem, take your thread and try to catch it and wrap it down. Our hackle plier. Grab hold of the end. Now this is the stem that's stripped at the base. And you see it stands out nice and straight. from the hook shank. Also, when you do this, obviously it's going to take twice as many reps to get the same amount of hackle. And twice as much material. That's enough. We'll go there. And then we'll take a couple more reps. And clip it off. Everything back. And again, if you've got material up in the eye, you can lift it up with the thread and then wrap it down. And then we'll grab a wet finisher, 3 or 4 turns, and we're done. And then, these you always pull the barbs back a little bit, so straighten your barbs out a little bit. So you can see here, if you cut the barbs off one side of the feather, you get a little bit straighter, a little bit more perpendicular, a little bit less messy hackle. But as I mentioned, you use twice as much material, have to take twice as many reps. That's a Renegade. Gold tag, brown hackle in the back, peacock in the middle, white hackle in the front. Great old dry fly.